2. Louie, all you.
I'm doing my persuasive speech on why every school should have a student mentoring program. And I have a quote here that is kind of towards the mentors in the program. It says, "You can't live a perfect day without doing something for someone who will never be able to repay you." John Lennon. Okay. So here's what I'm proposing. See, we have counselors at this school, right? But nobody really uses them for emotional needs, because it's kind of awkward if you go to the counselor's office, someone comes to your class and say, "Counselor wants to see you," and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, everybody knows I'm going to the counselor, they're gonna know I have problems, oh my," yeah, this is a mess, so.
I always think it's to drop my class, which then causes emotional problems, and then I go see them.
So, again, here's what I'm proposing, is a program where it's somewhat mandatory to have a mentor, where you have so many mentors and they get so many people. I mean, you'd probably have to go to your parents and ask them to sign this form, because they right, dictate if you have a mentor or not. And I think it would be good if we had made a pilot program and we connected it to the college and had college students be the mentors, because they're gonna have the free time. They're going into subjects that, you know, deal with kids and how kids react. So there was a time in my life when I would give anything to have a connection to someone, because I felt so alone. I didn't feel like I was noticed. I didn't feel like I had purpose. And having someone that could listen to me every day or ask how I've been, that would have meant a world of difference. So the amount of lives this program could save, like almost literally, and in the future, like how they go through high school and how they go to college, it'll change their lives. So I'm gonna go through some statistics with you guys and connect it. So depression and anxiety, here, I'm gonna read them all. It's not uncommon for someone with an anxiety disorder to also suffer from depression, or vice versa. Nearly 1/2 of those diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders affect 1 in 8 children. Research shows that untreated children with anxiety disorders are at high risk to perform poorly in school, miss out on important social experiences, and engage in substance abuse. People with an anxiety disorder are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders than those who do not suffer from anxiety disorders. And again, having this mentor and someone you can talk to, says 1 in 8 kids have this problem. We're still kids. And it's a problem you have to deal with every day. It's difficult, and you can talk to someone about it, and they'll listen to you. You can go say, "Hey, I'm having a really hard time at school. I have this speech to do," and they'll be like, "Hey, I'll help you. Let's go meet up somewhere. Let's go meet up at the library. Or I support you. I know you can do this." It's something that will change people's lives. So I have some suicide statistics here. And also there's more in depression, I know said earlier. Well, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. Homicide ranks 16th. It is the 2nd leading cause of death for 15 to 24-year-olds. And that just blows my mind. That is the 2nd leading cause of death for people our age. That's crazy. That shouldn't happen. There's 1 death by suicide in the US every 13 minutes. So every 13 minutes there's going to be somebody killing themselves. There's 1 death by suicide in the world every 40 seconds. So there's 1 person leaving us every 40 seconds. They're gone. Depression affects 20 to 25% of Americans ages 18 plus in a given year. And the statistics for that is even higher in teenagers. Only half of all Americans experience an episode of major depression receive treatment. Depression is one of the reasons that people might feel like they are worthless and that maybe they would not be worth anything on this earth. An estimated 250,000 people each year become suicide survivors. And so mentors would talk to these people, make them feel loved, make them connected to, make them feel loved and like they're worth something. Like their absence might leave a hole in someone because someone obviously cares about them. Abuse and bullying in teens and other students. It's estimated that 160,000 children miss school every day due to fear or attack or intimidation by other students. And that's from the National Education Association. 9% of 4th through 8th grade students report being victims of bullying. Bullying statistics say revenge is the strongest motivation for school shootings. 86% of students said other kids picking on them, making fun of them, or bullying them causes teenagers to turn into lethal violence in the schools. According to bullying statistics, 1 out of every 10 students who drops out of school does so because of repeated bullying. And this is their peers doing this to them. Those peers having a mentor to maybe help them work through problems in their lives, because if you're bullying someone else, it might be because maybe of how your parents treat you, how maybe your feelings inside cause you to treat other people like that. And also the person being bullied, that mentor will help them walk through it, maybe help them realize that, you know, they are worth something, and it'll make them more confident in themselves and stop the bullying. I have some statistics on mentoring here. So 1 in 3 young people will grow up without a mentor, without someone in their lives that they can turn to for advice and tell anything. Young adults who are at risk for falling off track but had a mentor are 55% more likely to enroll in college, 78% more likely to volunteer regularly, 90% are interested in becoming a mentor, 130% more likely to hold leadership positions. I like to focus on the 90% are interested in becoming a mentor. That just tells you how much of an impact that mentor had on their lives. My stepdad, his ex-wife, her dentist was part of a program called Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I'm going to have statistics on that program because that's a real life mentoring program. But she talked to her dentist about it, and she said without that mentor in her life, she might not have gone to college, and she was the woman she was today because of that mentor and that impact she had on her life. So these are some more statistics. In addition to better school attendance and a better chance of going on to higher education, mentored youth maintain better attitudes towards school. And students who meet regularly with their mentors are 52% less likely than their peers to skip a day of school and 37% less likely to skip a class. This just shows you how much of an impact these mentors have on their lives. So Big Brother and Big Sister is a program, a real life mentoring program. You might have heard of it. It's for kids that don't really have someone in their lives, and they have a big brother or big sister to take them for an afternoon and teach them stuff. Maybe if they don't, know how to take a shower, they'll go and teach them because they don't have that person in their lives that cares enough to do that. So people in Big Brother and Big Sister are 46% less likely to begin using illegal drugs, 27% less likely to begin using alcohol, 52% less likely to skip school, 37% less likely to skip a class, and 33% less likely to hit someone. And this is a quote from something on their website that I thought was important. They said, what mattered to the children were not the activities, it was the fact that they had a caring adult in their lives. Because they had someone to confide in and look up to, they were in turn doing better in school and at home. And at a time in their lives when even small choices can change the course of their future, the littles were also avoiding violence and substance abuse. It's really important. You see how this impacts their lives and makes them, this will affect them for the rest of their life, how the choices you make right now will affect inevitably what you do in the future. So our conclusion is bullying is linked to many negative outcomes, including impacts on mental health, substance abuse, and suicide. It's important to talk to kids to determine whether bullying or something else is a concern. And talking to the child will be the mentor. The mentor is the job. Children and teenagers that have mentors experience a better outlook on life, do better in school, and are less likely to do illegal drugs and or alcohol. So this affects your lives a lot. So we have scenario A, and we have two happy-looking girls that are smiling. And if we do this program, then everybody's gonna be happy. There's not gonna be really much bullying because their problems are gonna be sorted out with their mentor, and everybody's gonna be happy. They're all gonna go to college and get doctorate degrees, and it's gonna be amazing. So
You really paint Skittles and unicorns.
yeah. Scenario B is we have all these kids looking like zombies. They don't know what to do. There's robots and
I suddenly want a crossbow.
yeah, that's what's gonna happen. There's gonna be a zombie outbreak and it's gonna be horrible. So we want to teach these kids how to contain the virus. That's what's gonna